Welcome to the FishFlix.com Christian Movie Podcast. Every week we review a Christian film, informing you about the plot, letting you know our thoughts, and finally discussing how family-friendly the movie is. I'm your host, Noah Metzger. Please join me this week as we take a look at Mining for God.
I ask people the question, what is Christianity? And I get lots of different responses, so I'm going to ask you that question. What is Christianity?
It's really no different than most religions. I mean, there's little parts of the story that are different.
Just imposed a bunch of rules and a structure and a hierarchy.
I don't necessarily think that Christianity is the only way to access God or spirituality.
It's not even really about God, it's about control.
I think the biggest issue with Christianity as it's perceived in the West is that people think they've already tried it, that they've already seen it, that it was just one of many other views and it's been tried and found wanting.
Mining for God is a documentary film directed by Mcguire. If you're interested in this film after our review, you can order it on our website at www.FishFlix.com. America has long been called a Christian nation. In fact, over 70% of adults in America identify themselves as Christian. Yet when filmmaker Mcguire heads to the streets to ask a few clarifying questions about how Christianity is defined within our culture, he is shocked by the answers he finds. This provocative documentary takes us deep within the American mind and brings to surface the big ideas that have influenced the way we think about ourselves and about God. I've always felt like Christian documentaries are a very important part of the Christian filmmaking industry, as they are able to drive home a lot of realities that other fictitious dramas can't. Mining for God, for instance, was able to go out onto the streets and ask the world what they thought of Christianity. This film started with a very simple premise. What is Christianity? Some of the answers the filmmaker Mcguire received were rather shocking. They included things like, good people go to heaven, bad people end up in hell. All religions are basically the same. Christianity is just about rules. It's about controlling people. Or even, no religion can be the only way to God or spirituality. While over 70% of our nation identifies as Christian, it seems like we have an incredibly skewed and distorted idea of what Christianity is. Mcguire sets out on an important journey to find answers to these questions, and through a series of interviews and logical reasoning, he is able to give evidence for some very compelling truths. I really enjoyed the film and thought it was very logical and cohesive. I would have liked to have seen a little more of Mcguire throughout the film though, as it seemed to me that he almost disappeared halfway through. The cinematography and visual design were both very aesthetically pleasing, and overall it was a very well put together documentary. This movie is appropriate for all ages with really nothing to speak of content-wise. This would be a great film to show to your family or church, and would even open up some doors for people who don't consider themselves to be Christians. If you would like to find out more about Mining for God or would be interested in purchasing it, you can visit our website at www.FishFlix.com. On our website, we have a vast assortment of Christian films you can learn about or purchase. We have a large collection containing both classics and brand new movies that are just releasing, all at incredibly low prices. Thank you for joining us, and as always, please be sure to stay tuned as we bring you more reviews every week on the FishFlix.com Christian Movie Podcast.